Alright everybody, it's Jennifer McCreath. It's Saturday morning, December 17th, 2022. And I want to talk a little bit about I guess we'll call it encroachment into neutral territory. Usually the NCAA football and the NFL unofficially work together to ensure that people try to get the best of both products, and you don't see a lot of overlapping of games. That's why Saturday has traditionally been college football day and Sunday has been NFL day. But when we get down to the end of the season and college football's regular season is over, a month before the NFL season is over, sometimes we see a few NFL games sneak into the Saturday schedule. It's interesting. I started watching NFL in 1993, and I don't think I started watching college till at least, God, I can't remember, probably 4 years, maybe 5 years later. So what we have today, initially it was supposed to be the opening of the Bowl Mania. It went from Bowl Day to Bowl Week to Bowl Mania. We got a lot of bowls. We had 2 yesterday that probably very few people actually watched because they're watering these bowls down to the point where you're getting teams in there that nobody really wants to see. And I remember the bonus Saturday games in December from many years ago and being really excited to have them on because I just wasn't into college. Now I love the college game just as much as the NFL. In fact, I would say rivalry weekend, November 26th, I believe it was this year. Ohio State, Michigan, and on. There were so many great college games. Probably my favorite memory of the football season all year was that week. And the NFL initially, I don't think, had any games slated for today. It was supposed to be bowls. We got 3 bowls on ABC. We got 4 bowls on ESPN. And they're not all bad games. We've got some... well, let's start FCS. We haven't even talked FCS. There's FCS playoff games going on that are hard to find on television up here in Canada. Jackson State will play NC Central today. I believe that's for some reason, the SWAC and the Meek do not opt into the FCS playoffs. Instead, they take the winners of both conferences and have their own FCS bowl game. It's not just any Jackson State, it's the undefeated Deion Sanders coached Jackson State. So that's, if you're going to watch any FCS game this year, you might want to watch this one. Especially since Deion has announced he's leaving Jackson State for Colorado next season. And we've got my favorite bowl games to watch is when the group of 5 take on the power 5. It's the big guy versus the little guy. It's a chance to prove who's who. And we do have a couple big ones. Fresno State against Washington State. And we've got Oregon. Actually, this is Pac versus... This is a rare bonus. A Pac team versus an SEC team. Usually we don't see those games until January 1st and 2nd. Right away, day 2 of the bowl season, December 17th, Florida and Oregon State will square off tonight in the Vegas Bowl. Another big one, Louisville from the ACC taking on last year's, well, we used to call them BCS Busters, Little Cincinnati from Little AAC, who's not so little. Louisville, Cincinnati, that's going to be fun. BYU, SMU, I don't know, maybe. Rice, what are they doing in a bowl? They're 5-7. Oh wait, Appalachian State 6-6 doesn't really count because they had 2 FCS wins. As did Army, who was 6-6. You're only allowed to count 1 FCS win, unless you're New Mexico State, who filed, what do you call it, an appeal or an injunction? Waiver. They were supposed to play San Jose State, but the game got canceled. Unfortunately, a terrible tragedy. San Jose State had a player die, and so that game didn't happen. New Mexico State said, we are 5-6. We didn't get a chance to play that 6th game. Can we play anyone? Just give us anyone who has the guts to come in and play us and put us in a bowl if we win that game. Who was it that stepped up to the plate? Valparaiso, I think. So New Mexico State is in. But we don't have enough bowl-eligible teams. We're one short, so that means one lucky 5-win team. I guess it's conference-related. There's not enough Conference USA teams to fill their slots, so Rice at 5-7 is in against Southern Miss. The Conference USA and Sunbelt has seen a lot of movement. I guess Southern Miss is now in the Sunbelt. Anyways, that's a game. Rice, Southern Miss. Not too keen to watch that one. Boise State in the late one against North Texas. You mean Boise should kill them, but again, there's not a lot of incentive for me to want to watch that game. But there's still some good bowl games. But guess what? The NFL said, wait a minute, just 13 days ago, we're going to give you a triple header on Saturday. And we're going to give you some pretty darn good football games. So you don't have to watch any of these bowl games. So the casual football fan is probably not going to watch any bowl games today. They'll be glued to the NFL. Minnesota at 1 o'clock will play Indianapolis. Then the 4:30 game will be Cleveland and Baltimore. And then the late prime time game will be Miami and Buffalo. So there you have it. Dilemma. What do we watch? It's never a bad thing to have too many games to choose from, I guess. We're spoiled up here in Canada. I know that there's frustration in the US. Sometimes you're forced to only get one game. And your primary home game trumps everything else. I think it was Buffalo versus Minnesota that got cut short because they went overtime and they had to switch over to the late game in the local regions. So a lot of people didn't get to see the finish. Up here in Canada, we have Canadian TV companies that usually purchase the rights to broadcast NFL games. And between CTV and TSN, along with, we also do pick up some US channels, the big four, I guess, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox. So I get two games as selected by the Canadian Sports Consortium. And given where I physically live geographically, Boston is the closest major TV hub. So I get Boston CBS and Boston's Fox. So, luck of the draw, my team, as you can tell by the shirts in the background, Kansas City, has played 13 games already this year, and I've seen all of them. And tomorrow's actually be the first time all season that the Chiefs will not be aired on the television package that I have. So, too bad for me, I guess. But there'll be other games to choose from. But yeah, I really kind of like this Indy-Minnesota matchup. I mean, that's pretty cool. I don't know why. It's just an intriguing game. It's going to be tough to not focus my attention on the Bulls today because I love the Bulls. And then in Miami and the Bills, that's a big game. That's playoff implications. I just feel a little bit like Big Brother is roughing up Little Brother here, maybe. Anyone else kind of feeling the same way? I mean, if you came to me 93, 94, 95, I wouldn't have cared because I wasn't watching college then. And I get it. There's a lot of NFL fans who don't watch college football and they wouldn't be watching TV otherwise. So it's 3 extra NFL games that you get to watch. I don't know. I just find it peculiar because I know that they try not to do this. They try not to force fans to decide which, and it's interesting, the NFL Network, I guess that's the other story. We get the NFL Network up here in almost every cable package in Canada. And again, these games are picked up by the Canadian Consortium. a lot of Americans, I guess, do not have that package. So you got these 3 NFL games and you can't watch them because you don't have the channel. You can go watch the Bulls anyway. Maybe that's what they're saying. I don't know. I guess I like the tradition. College on Saturday, NFL on Sunday. Monday Night Football's okay. Get rid of Thursday Night Football, NFL. Those games suck. Players need a full week rest, and the pros. I don't mind if you're both coming off a bye like they do with Maction and things like that. But, yeah, I don't know. Just thought I'd throw this out there. And then we're going to get the same thing next weekend. It's kind of special because it's, Christmas and New Year's Eve and Boxing Day and all those type of holidays. But yeah, we're going to see the same thing next week. There's going to be NFL and college games on at the same time. And we're going to have to decide which games we're going to want to watch. And we'll talk about that next week. Because for now, Louisville, Cincinnati is an early kick. 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Boston's Fenway Park. How about that? That's a pretty interesting place to play football. So that Minnesota NFL game doesn't even start for another 2 hours. So at least we're going to watch the first half of Cincinnati and Louisville. And I'm going to watch that game. So we're going to turn off the camera. What do you think, folks? You got any comments on this? You can send them my way, but it won't really do you any good. Tweet at the NCAA and the NFL and say, "Come on, man."